second grade. Today we're going to be talking about something called perspective. Now, I think we've talked about it before, but just to remind you, it's how things look when they are far away. So in my picture, I have got some fields, and then you can see my little town or village that's far away. This point in the distance is called the vanishing point, and I'm going to show you how we can make that today. You're going to need some paper, a ruler, a pencil and eraser. Well, you might not need the eraser, a Sharpie, and then crayon or crayons and watercolor, water and a brush. Okay, so we're going to be making our field of flowers, tulip fields, I guess. You're going to start with your paper landscape, and the very first thing you're going to do, we're going to just take our ruler and we're going to be making a line straight across. I want most of my picture to be the field, so my line is going to be pretty close to the top. I'm going to say like about 1.5 inches down, and I'm just going to make a line across. Now in the middle, I'm going to make a little dot because that's going to be what we call our vanishing point. So I am measuring, my paper is 12 across, so in the middle, a little 6, I'm going to put a little dot. And then to make my fields that are going towards the vanishing point, I'm just going to be making some lines. So my first one is going to come from the point to about here. I'm not really measuring, I'm just putting one out to the side, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. But I have to go to my vanishing point, so I have to make it start there and go out to the side. My next field again starts at the vanishing point, and it's going to come down not quite the corner but near to the corner, but it has to start on the vanishing point. So that's one big field, 2. There's another one here. And then I'm going to do 2 more lines. So these ones are going to come right down to the bottom. 1 and 2. Okay. So now I have my fields drawn out in pencil, and I'm going to do my little village at the top, and I'm going to be using Sharpie because my little village along the top of the horizon line is in shadow. Ooh, it's okay, I'll be painting that later. So I'm going to turn it, I'll make it easier for me to trace. I'm going to trace along my horizon line first. Trying to keep it as straight as I can. And then I'm just going to draw a little village along the top. So I'm going to make a little line first. Maybe there's a little house there, maybe some little bushes. I'm keeping them small, I'm not making them big. This is all sky. Maybe another little house or building, tree. In my example, I had something that was meant to be a windmill, so I'm going to make something like that. I'm going to thicken it out a little bit. I'm going to be colouring this in a second, so. These don't have to be accurate, they're just a silhouette. Okay, so once I've done that, I'm just going to colour. I like to turn it around to colour, it makes it easier for me to colour this way. And I'm going to just use my Sharpie. I don't want to use a black marker because if I use my watercolour on it, it's going to bleed. So use a Sharpie or a black crayon for this part. Okay, so that's my little village at the edge of the horizon line in silhouette. And I'm going to take my crepa and I'm just going to do a little sort of yellow line around it where the sun is kind of setting. I'm using the side of my crepa just to very lightly go around that. And it doesn't even matter if you go over it, you can go over it. You can just do yellow, or if you want, you can add another layer of orange or red. Okay, so we're going to be painting the sky later, so we'll do that after. We're now going to be making our fields. I'm going to separate my fields on the lines that we already drew by adding a line in green. I'm using two different greens. It's almost like a little hedge between the fields, and I'm just drawing along the line that I already made. First in the dark green, and then I'm going to put a little bit of the light green on top. I find when you use two shades of the same colour, it makes it look a bit more realistic. And again, I'm using my crepa on the side. Okay, so now for the fun part with the flowers. We know when things are close, they're bigger. So I'm going to be making some little dots with my crepa. And they're random, they're not in a row. They're just all over. Because we're seeing this from far away, right? We're not seeing a lot of detail. As I get closer to my horizon line, my dots are going to get a little smaller. Okay, I'm going to do the same for all the other fields. So a little bit bigger over here, near to the front. And then I'm kind of pressing the crepa down and turning it to make a circle, and then as I go closer to the top, I'm kind of dotting it. And we are going to be painting, so don't worry if you've got a lot of spaces. Now on this last field, because this is far away, my dots at this end will also be small. So now you are ready to paint. For my fields, I'm going to try and use a colour that's as close to the colour of crepa that I use. So for my red flowers, and I'm just going to paint right on top because I use crepa, and I can go right on top of them and you will still see my little dots. The very last thing I'm going to do is paint the sky. And again, I can come right down to my crepa. It shouldn't go over the top. Okay, and those are our tulip fields. I hope you had fun making those and I can't wait to see them.